What is up, guys and girls, and welcome to yet another video here from Expedition Hawk, straight out of these corona times. But let's not spend too much time talking about this corona stuff right now. No, today we're going to talk about some very neat stuff, which is the Exped mats here, the sleeping pads. And I'm particularly talking about the Downmat and the Synmat over here. I own both of them. Some might ask, why did I buy both of them? Well, for one simple reason. These Amok hammocks, I have two of them, one for me and one for my son, so of course I needed two sleeping pads. I originally bought the Synmat over here, which by the way is the Synmat 9 long wide version, which is with an integrated hand pump, so you can pump it up via the snozzle bag that Exped sells, but you can also pump it up by hand with this integrated hand pump. This Downmat over here is the model 9 long wide also, so they have the exact same size, but this is the XP model, which means it does not come with the integrated hand pump. You can only inflate this via the snozzle bag that Exped sells for it. But the snozzle bag is a very cool product, so don't mind that at all. But I thought I would make this video to show the differences between these two mats, and right now I've actually been hanging out here for a week in this beautiful Amok hammock right here, and I have been sleeping some days with the Synmat and some days with the Downmat. Of course, one would say that it's not really the climate right now for using the Downmat, because this is made for very heavy winter use. You're supposed to be able to take this Downmat here to the harshest winter conditions and still be all right if you use the correct bag and all this. But yeah, let me talk about the differences between them. The specifications on these two says the Synmat over here, it has an R value of 5.2, which equals down to minus 20 degrees Celsius. I can't remember what that is in Fahrenheit, guys, use a converter. But it is 197 centimeters long and 9 centimeters thick. As said, it has an R value of 5.2, and it is insulated with Exped microfiber. So it is synthetic microfiber, it is synthetic insulation. And this is where the Downmat differs from the Synmat over here, because as this has synthetic microfiber insulation, this has goose down insulation. It actually has Fill Power 700 goose down as insulation on this, and it has an R value of 7.8 as I recall, and that equals a minus 38 degrees Celsius, guys. That's a very serious mat right here. So that's the specifications, and this of course has the exact same size, 9 centimeters in thickness and 197 centimeters long. So that is the specification on these two mats, and let's take a look at them. As you can see here, they are very much alike, these two mats. But this, the orange one, the Synmat right here, as I told you, it has the integrated hand pump, which is right here. So if I flip this on the other side right here, you can see here how you are supposed to place your hands. And of course you open this one right here, and then you just pump away. I do, however, prefer the snozzle bag way of inflating these mats, and the reason being, when you're outside on your hike and it's wet, it's rainy, and the ground is mushy, you don't want to put your mat on the ground to inflate it via the hand pump. And I mean, when your hammock looks like this, how are you supposed to put the mat in it and inflate it by hand? You can't do that, right? With the snozzle bag system, you can just hang your mat over the ridgeline here and inflate it while standing up. Just inflate it until it gets its normal shape, and then you can put it inside of your hammock and give it the last few pumps with the snozzle bag. I do, however, want to say that you can pump the Synmat here up harder than you can with the Downmat. The reason being that this has this integrated hand pump right there, because when you're using the snozzle bag, you can only pump it up to a certain degree and then it just pops off, and that's where this hand pump comes into the picture, because you can just give it a pump or two more before you're closing it down. But so that's something to think about if you like a very, very hard inflated mat. This one can inflate a little harder than the other one. And let's talk colors and materials. As you can see, it has a very thick and sturdy material right here. I actually dig this orange color, man, but I definitely also dig the black color right here, which is, it seems to me, it is exactly the same fabric. But as you can see, there's not much of a difference. I do, however, want to show you a trick with this. When you have, let me just pump this one right here. Let's say you've used your integrated hand pump, then the side of this looks like this. There's not much inflation right here. So a little trick to get this at the same shape as the other one is just to find the end right here, and there you can feel this little knot right here, and you just press it. Boom. Now it has the same shape all over. But let's get these two in the hammock. But that was it for the basic specifications and preview of these two pads right here. But let's get one of them inside the hammock so I can tell you more about the differences that I've noticed with these two pads right here. So which one are we gonna take? Eeny, meeny, miny. No, wait, we're gonna take the Synmat, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. Let me get this inside the hammock. So we now have the Synmat inside the Amok Drummer hammock, or Dramur, or Dramu, or whatever you want to call this hammock. Downmat here, Synmat here. Let me get inside the hammock and tell you the differences that I've noticed with this hammock. And this, by the way, is my way of getting inside the hammock in the easiest way possible. Let's go into chair mode here. Yeah. Alright, let me tell you why I chose to put the Synmat inside the hammock and not the Downmat. Other than the obvious, that is not really the climate right now to use the Downmat. But you could, no problem. I just been sleeping in it, as said, for a couple of days, and also in this, to see the immediate difference. I already had a feeling about a difference between these two because I've noticed it before. But now I thought I would give it another try and see if it was just a one-time experience, the difference I've noticed before, or if I would notice it again. And I did notice it again. I've noticed that with the Downmat here, even in mild winter conditions and these spring conditions like it is right now, I have a much colder, if I must say so myself, in my very, very beautiful behind, you know. I have a colder buttocks, man, with this Downmat than I do with the Synmat. And that's strange. And I've noticed it before, but I thought maybe I was just crazy. But now I've tested it again, and it definitely is colder in the buttocks, this one. It doesn't stay that way, but it just takes some time. It's like 20-30 minutes or something before my buttocks gets warm again using the Downmat. When I jump into my hammock using the Synmat here, no problem at all. It's warm from the start. And it's really strange, you know, because as said, this is supposed to keep you warmer down to a much lower temperature. And just to be clear, I'm sleeping in a mountain equipment Glacier Expedition down sleeping bag. It has a comfort temperature of minus 35 degrees, so it isn't the bag's fault, you know. And I, by the way, have a review video of that sleeping bag. I'm gonna put a link in the description if you want to see that video right there. But yeah, as said, it takes longer time to get warm with this Downmat. I don't understand why. So, but that just brings me to the question: if I only needed to buy one, which one would I buy? And it's very simple for me, because I don't doubt that this can keep me warmer down to a much lower degree than this one. But let me tell you, I've slept with this one, the Synmat, in minus 18 degrees. No problem whatsoever. No cold buttocks, no cold feet or anything. So I know for certain that it works. I don't doubt that this works also down to the minus 38 degrees I'm just saying that it's, for me personally, it takes a longer time to heat up my body than it does with the Synmat. Some say that this is a little more comfortable because you're lying on down, and I would say, you know, I've been using these two mats actually in my Hilleberg tent a couple of times, and then I've been switching between the pads. I couldn't feel a very big difference. I will say a very small difference. It is a little more comfortable lying on the down mat. It's the fact that you can both use the integrated hand pump, the snuzzle bag, which you need. You will have the snuzzle bag, believe me. The integrated hand pump, it's clever, it's smart and all this, but you will need the snuzzle bag. But as I said, you have the opportunity to use both, and it keeps me warm from first, second, and it's cheaper. So I would buy the Synmat, no questions asked. And I will say though that the Downmat up here does pack down a little smaller than the Synmat does, and it also weighs a little less, which I will tell you more about in a second, where I will show you the both of them packed down. But I will say I'm not an ultralight hiker anyway, so I don't care if this is a tad heavier than the Downmat. I will say both of the mats are superiorly great to other mats that I've been trying. I've owned a lot of sleeping pads, and these, both of them, are by far the best pads I've ever used. And let me make it clear, I have no affiliation with Exped whatsoever. They didn't send me these mats or anything. I bought these two sleeping pads for my own money, and it's just important for me to say that I love both of my sleeping pads here. These are by far the best sleeping pads I've ever owned, and I've owned many, believe me. So both of them are very cool sleeping pads. But let me pack them down and let me show you the differences when they're packed down. Okay guys, so now I've packed down both of the sleeping pads here in each of their bag, and as you can see here, the Synmat is a little wider than the Downmat over here. But I will say this though, that this bag here is a much more tight fit than the Synmat's bag, which also makes this much easier to pack down than this one. That's also just something to keep in mind. I will almost bet that if you rolled up the Synmat here and put inside this bag, it could fit in here also. So I don't know about the pack sizes really. I mean, they're equally as tall. This is just a little more wider than this one right here. But as said, if you put this into another bag, I guess they will be equal in dimensions. And another thing is, I just found out now when I was looking into the specifications of the weight just now, that the Synmat is actually a little lighter than the Downmat here. This one is 1 kilo and 155 grams, and this is 1 kilo and 250 grams. So this is almost 100 grams heavier than the Synmat. I didn't expect that at all, but to me it doesn't matter that much. But if you are an ultralight hacker, ultralight hacker? What the hell am I talking about, man? I mean, if you're an ultralight hiker, this one is actually a little lighter. So as said before, if I could only pick one of these, if I had to go out now and buy just one, I would definitely take the Synmat. It's a little cheaper, and now it's apparently also a little lighter, but who cares? But it's just the part that it's warmer from the beginning. At least mine is. I don't know if this has some kind of flaw or something, but I actually have a friend who also have a Downmat, and he actually told me the same thing. So, yeah, and you won't be disappointed in any of these sleeping pads, I'm sure. But it's just my personal preference. I would take the Synmat. A little cheaper and warmer behind from the beginning. So that's my choice for today's sleeping pad choice. Anyways, I hope you like this video, guys, and if there is some questions you have about any of these pads, just feel free to let me know. And if you like this video, or even if you don't like this video, please post me a comment. It means a lot to me to see what you guys think, like and dislike about the videos I make. So just throw me a comment, okay? And throw a like. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more cool videos like this. In near future, I will post a video about tips and tricks about the amok drummer. I I don't even know what you call it, but the amok drama hammocks.